Hi, my name's Rich. I'm studying philosophy at UCL and I'm in my second year. So you take 4 modules per term in philosophy. I think this changes per department. So I take 8 in the whole year because the first 2 terms are teaching and the last is exam. So you have 4 in the first 2 terms. So my actual contact hours is relatively small for my course, and I think this is true for most humanities. I actually only have about 10 contact hours of lectures, seminars and tutorials, and then because they're expecting so much reading and so much work outside of class, I have to do my own research. It's a very research orientated university. I have to do my own research. I have to I'd say any 1 hour of contact time requires about 5 hours of reading. So I mean you're still here a lot of the time, even if it's not actually with contact hours. You've got to do a lot of prep for each of your lectures so they can really make the most out of it, because they'll be constantly referring to readings and things that other philosophers or other scholars have said, even the ones at UCL themselves. So tutorials are the one-on-ones. They're like you sit in the lecturer's office and just speak with them, and it's quite intense. You have to make sure you've done your readings for them. And the seminars is kind of just that bit bigger, so maybe about between like 8 to 12 people in your seminars, and then in lectures, I mean, depending on which subject, I mean, I've had ones with 30, I've had ones with like 150. But the seminars are always a follow-up discussion of what happened in the lecture. So the lectures, you'll get loads of information like hurled at you, and then the seminars you kind of mull it over in a smaller scope, argue it out, talk about it, make sure you really understand it. Tutorials are much more like intense, focused on your writing style, focused on your learning style. You will get corrected if you're wrong. And you kind of like debate it out with someone who's professional in that field. So I chose UCL because, I mean, it's such a reputable university. You can really tell everyone here is like buzzing off their subject. They really love it, they're really good at it, and they're really excited to learn like the next step. I think it's such a research university that, I mean, like when you're in your classes, your lecturer will be on like the forefront of some new innovation in their field. Which is really interesting to learn from, and you feel like you're actually making a contribution rather than just kind of, you know, in school it sometimes feels like you're just kind of learning facts, whereas now you feel like you're really onto something. I think for me, philosophy was the bridge between something that is really academically rigorous and challenging for me, and also something that I love. I mean, I really like books and reading, so philosophy was kind of the joining between my love for reading and like words and the use of language, and then also that kind of really tough thinking that you just don't think about in day to day. It also completely changes your life. Anyone who studies philosophy, like after studying quite good philosophy for a year, you can just, your perception on life just changes so much. I am not thinking the way that I used to, and all the better for it, I think. I mean, I'm going to do a conversion course, which means I'm doing an extra 2 years on the end of my UCL degree to become qualified as a solicitor. I think I know quite a few art students who are doing that. That's quite popular, and it's quite a respected route now that a lot of people are doing. And I think a UCL arts graduate has quite a lot of opportunities to convert into courses like this. It's quite a reputable degree that will really help you. I know philosophy is one of those weird ones that's like such a malleable subject. It really goes into anything. I know a lot of people going into accounting, strangely enough. Sometimes it's hard to see the link, but there definitely is one. It's that kind of logical, deductive reasoning that you get from philosophy that transfers quite well. I know a lot of people go into kind of higher academia, so they do a master's, they do a PhD. Philosophy is quite a facilitating subject in terms of academia, because it really gets you to think about content, whatever the content is. So I mean, I know like a lot of people go into doing English literature masters or politics masters after having done a philosophy undergraduate. I mean, I'm not sure if she's still our poet laureate, but I know that Carol Ann Duffy, who was the poet laureate like a few years ago, did philosophy, and I know like Ricky Gervais did UCL philosophy. So I mean, like you can become a comedian. It's such like, it doesn't really lead into anything, which I think is actually a good thing because you really get to choose. So in applying for UCL, I think the techniques for applying really differ per department. I think for most of the arts ones, you just need to be hugely interested in your subject and really show that by kind of having done your own thing in your own time for your subject, having done a project in it, or having done loads of wider reading and showing that you're interested in your subject to a level that's kind of beyond the standard level for a place like UCL, because it's very research orientated, very always trying to find something new to work on. So I think if you tap into that and try and you find for yourself something really interesting about your course and subject, you'll be a shoo-in. But I mean, of course, check your departmental requirements. I can only speak for philosophy, and I know the law ones as well are similar. When you make your application, just make sure that you really sell yourself as on the top of your field, and really engaged with the current affairs and what's changing about it and the really topical issues. I got in by talking about this really niche problem in philosophy, and talking about it in my personal statement and how my own personal life had helped me tackle it and relate to it in a way that I didn't before, and that helped me solve the problem. And it's kind of this innovative approach that UCL love. But do apply and do try your best to get in. It's really an amazing university. I'm so happy here. Living in London and going to UCL is such a privilege, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, you have the kind of hustle and bustle of the city that's constantly awake, that's really busy. But I mean, just being in central London, there's so many colleges. So UCL is actually not its own university. It's actually a college of the University of London, which it shares with LSE, King's. So I mean, we have loads of links with all of them. There's also the New College of Humanities, which is just up there. We have talks with them, we have meetings with them. So I mean, being in London means that you're with all these people all the time, and you can really expand your perspective. Stop distracting me. Yeah, of course. Enjoy. Thank you. If you like this video and like learning about top universities, like and subscribe.